You don't even need equipment. Imagine increasing your bench without a bench and without moving. Just go to a wall and just push. Isometrics has been getting attention lately, but it's not enough. Old time strongmen already knew the benefits of isometrics. Before bodybuilding was marketed to us, the standards of the epitome of strength generally used to be about what you can do instead of how you look. We've seen old time strongmen who were of smaller stature be capable of doing strength feats outside of what's perceived possible for what they look like. The mighty Adam weighed around 130 in his prime, 148 when he got older. Alexander Zass originally weighed 147, then got to 165 just because he would look more like a strongman for circus. He's been doing his strength feats at 147 pounds already. And let's not forget Bruce Lee, who was around 130 to 140 pounds. Now, mythological strength feats aside, he knew what was up. The strength feats confirmed by his peers can be attributed to isometric training because he's done isometric training himself. The great Gamma, well, he weighed above 200 pounds, around 200 pounds. He was 5'7", and he's won 5,000 wrestling matches without losing. Now, wrestling is a very physically demanding sport. It's quite literally the sport of the strongest. Now, from the names I mentioned, what's the common thing they all did and have? They all did isometrics, and they all had unbelievable strength. This is not a new concept. It's just been buried by the bodybuilding industry. That's why I've been advocating isometrics for my clients and friends, and that's why they all got stronger. But why exactly is isometrics the ultimate hack for strength? Two reasons: force production and healing. First one makes sense, but the second one is kind of unorthodox. Now, let's get to that later. I want to talk about force production. Isometrics is great for force production because the contractile strength in doing isometrics is so much greater than eccentric and concentric. You can try it right now. Try putting your hands together, curl with one arm, and stomp it with the other. You'll notice and feel that you'll be engaging a lot more muscle fibers in your arm, and you'll recruit some synergistic muscles additionally. This is why athletes who have done isometric training have elite force production. One example is Isaiah Rivera. Not only does he train isometrics, he advocates isometrics. And this is one of the reasons why he's able to not only dunk, but basically he could put his face on the basket at this point with how high he can jump. Bonus points if you're an athlete competing in a certain weight class. This type of training is amazing because it is less time consuming, increases force production dramatically when programmed correctly, and the metabolic demands is very low. Now, let's move on to the healing part of isometrics. Isometrics will give you superhuman healing powers like Wolverine and Deadpool. No, I'm just kidding. What I'm talking about with the healing part of isometrics is when it is used for injuries. We can pull up any science literature here, but let's refer to one of the most basic and common practices. Number one is when you go to rehab for your injuries. You don't start pumping weights. You start by holding weights. You hold it, and then your physical therapist will gradually increase the load until you can't handle it anymore. Because what is the purpose of rehab? It's to get you back to your baseline. Now, let's try to sort of science the science here. Let's use the integer number line. If you came from an injury, which is a negative, use isometrics to go back to zero. What more can it do for you when you start from zero? It will become positive. Number two is the technique that flexible athletes do, which is proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. Basically, it's going to your flexibility limit, then tensing the muscles you are stretching, and suddenly you're able to get more range. Now, why is this related to healing? This is going to be basic, and you already know this. But basically, when, for example, old people, office workers, construction workers, and enhanced bodybuilders have stiff and tight muscles, stretching it and making it more flexible is part of the fix towards those stiffness problems. So with isometrics, not only are you strengthening your specific musculoskeletal body part, you're also preventing injuries because you get to skip those phases and seasons where you're injured. Now, imagine if you're basically super durable, would you be able to get more work in or not? Of course you can get a lot more work in, more than ever, which makes you stronger. Not only stronger, but more durable. It's a cycle again. When you have those two things, you'll be able to break world records in no time. How do we achieve that level? Of course, by incorporating isometrics. This has been Marco, and thank you for sticking with me throughout the video. I'd appreciate it if you let me know your thoughts on this topic. If you like the video, drop a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.